How's it going, guys? Welcome back to my first crit race. As you can tell, it did not end quite as expected, but that is definitely not the whole story. So let's get right into everything. So this is first a little race info. This is the 2024 Daniel Harwi 36th annual Lower Providence Spring Classic Criterium, I think is the full name. As much as that is a huge mouthful to say, this is a really good race. So organized really well. It's kind of the first crit race in this area. It's in Audubon, PA, which is kind of outside of Norristown, so sort of southeast PA, outside of Philly and stuff. This is the Cat 5 field. If you couldn't figure it out, so this is my very first crit race, and it is obvious that I'm in Cat 5, or novice as I think they call it now. It's about maybe 50-ish riders in it, something like that. I think 40 something were registered, and then maybe a couple more on the day. And yeah, like I said, it's really, the race is really well organized, well done. This same organizer does a few other races in the area and always does a great job. So yeah, it was a great event overall, great turnout and everything. This Cat 5 race was the first race to go off, so it was 8 a.m. Bright and early, and it's a little bit chilly, but it's also slightly damp, slightly wet. So you'll see the roads are slightly wet. They do dry up really quickly, but this could potentially play a part later, as you will see. So like I said, so about 50-ish riders in the race. The course, it's a 1 mile 4-corner crit course. Nice wide sweeping turns, closed to traffic, and I mean, you can't complain really. I'll take you through the next lap just to show some of the features, but yeah, I mean, really beautiful course really. This lap here is neutral rollout. So that was great for me. I didn't have to worry about clipping in, which was awesome. And so that was very helpful, especially in this race. I don't know if they did that. I don't think they did that on all the races. But for the Cat 5 field, that was nice and welcome for that. The course is mostly flat. Like I said, I will go over the course as we start here. So this is the just turning down onto the finishing straightaway now, and you'll see the start-finish line coming up. So there's a slight, just maybe the slightest of uphills here to get up to the finish, but it's pretty much flat. And then we'll go through the start line and get up to speed and start this lap. So all of the tents and everything obviously were here. So coming into the first corner, and this is the corner I think that I took the best probably. So NorCal Cycling always says there's one corner that you take really well and one corner that you probably don't. This is probably the one that I take the best. I wound up on the outside there. So coming out of corner 1, there's a slight rise here, but only the slightest of rises, and then it goes downhill a bit. So this is probably the fastest section. So we get a little bit of a downhill here, and all throughout the pavement is really good. Not a huge number of bumps or anything like that. So slight downhill into corner number 2, which is coming up here, and this one, again, it's a big sweeping turn, so you can take it pretty quickly. So we hit that. On this back stretch here, it's mainly flat, maybe a little bit of a downhill, but mainly flat. There's this truck that's parked here. It doesn't cause an issue for us, but it's sort of just something to think about every lap around. And then we come into corner number 3, which is probably the fastest corner, one of the fastest corners. And this one, yeah, you can definitely take quickly. You get onto some new pavement, which is nice, and then this is the slight uphill section. So on this straightaway, there's not more than 1 or 2%, but yeah, slight uphill section here. So it's the slower bit, and then up into the last corner, and the last corner actually on the outside, we noticed before the race started, there's it's like a grate, sort of a sewer drainage grate on the outside, and that it looked pretty nasty actually. You kind of just see it over there on the left here, but it didn't cause any issues. It's just something to look out for. And then just a tiny little slight uprise to the line. So there you go. That's the lap. So really nice, nice wide corners. And let's see. So still a little bit wet, but talk about some teams maybe. There was one major team. You see a purple and white jersey right there. That is the SOAR Foundation riders. There were, I think, 5 of them in the race, and that was the biggest team. There were a couple other teams that had 2, a couple of riders each, but really just that purple and white team. I was a little bit worried about them kind of controlling the race and everything beforehand. I even made a video of actually thinking about like a strategy and stuff, but it turns out to probably not have been a factor. For me, I am riding unattached. I'm not on a team, but the guy in front of me now is my buddy Bill. So we sort of agree to work together and try to come up with our own strategy. He also doesn't have any teammates in the race, so the two of us try to stick together for the most of the race. And I think that's probably about it for the actual race, the setup and everything. I think as far as my performance, I do quite well. I mean, there's really not a whole lot to complain about. It was a pretty fast race. We averaged over 25 miles an hour. I guess I should say, so for the race itself, it was 30 minutes, so pretty short. But a 30-minute race, they adjusted the number of laps after the first few. I think we did 13-ish laps, something like that. So they adjusted those as we went through, just to see what would make it 30 minutes total. But I think it ends up being something like 13 miles ish total. But yeah, we ended up averaging over 25.6 is what I did for the non-neutral laps. So it's a quick race, but I think just because it was wide corners and mainly flat, that's what worked in our favor. This is the line that I think I liked around that corner. It's kind of nice and smooth, and I can maintain a lot of speed going into this downhill. So, but for my performance, so fitness, so let's see. So fitness-wise, for the moving sections, non-neutral and non-crash laps, I averaged 3.4 watts per kilo, which is about 212 watts. For me, and then I normalized 227. That's, actually probably less than I would do in like a Zwift race of the same length. I would probably do 3.5-ish, maybe 3.6 in a Zwift race. So, I think I did a really good job of staying in the pack, staying with a group, staying behind somebody's wheel. I didn't spend a whole lot of time out in the wind, which was exciting and different for me. There are definitely times where I sort of pop out of the line and eat some wind for a little while and do some work. I end up obviously doing work at the end of each corner, which is something I gotta work on. But being my first crit race, I think I do a reasonable job of not doing that. But at the end of each corner, I do spike up spike up some watts, jump up to 500-600 watts. It's just to keep touch with the wheel in front of me. But overall, I mean, I'm pretty happy with the way I did. So like fitness wise, I stuck with the front pack. I was probably sitting top 15-ish wheels for most of the race, maybe 15, 20-ish. So yeah, I mean, I really can't complain about a whole lot. I probably need to work on the cornering. Like I said, most of the practice races I've done don't have much of a corner. It's not like 90-degree corner like this. It's more sort of sweepy oval like, which is great. But it doesn't give a whole lot of practice into the 90-degree corners. So I mean, I think for the first race I do a decent job. Yeah, so I mean, I'm thrilled with that. The bad parts, what do I kind of regret about the race, other than the crash at the end, which we will obviously get to. I probably, because I was feeling okay and feeling reasonably, reasonably fit and reasonably, energized throughout most of the race, I regret not throwing an attack in. I really should have attacked at some point, just to see what happened, and to make it a little more interesting for me, and I guess for everybody else too. There was a couple attacks that went, my buddy Bill, who's in front of me now, actually ends up going at some point a few laps in, and I was kind of caught behind somebody else's wheels. I was a little bit bummed that I didn't go with him, but I regret not doing something myself, just to spice things up, keep it interesting, and to see if it stuck. I mean, I don't think, as much as there was a team, a larger team, and then maybe a couple of other smaller teams in the race, I don't know if they would have been organized enough to present a huge chase or anything. So yeah, so I regret not doing that. But I mean, overall, I really can't complain too much about how I did. So I will go ahead and fast forward there till maybe about 2 laps to go, and we'll see the end. Okay, we are just passing the finish line, and we have about 2 laps to go. And this is probably where I need to start moving up a little bit. I'm probably sitting maybe top 10 now-ish, but I need to start thinking about my positioning more. I probably don't do quite as good of a job as I should have on that. You can see here I get stuck out in the wind, but you know, I am able to hang on to everybody, which is great. But I do have to put in a bit more effort than I would have liked. So I get caught out here, but this is, yeah, I probably do need to push up a bit here, or I should anyway, and I just don't quite do it. So excuse me, I think that I need to think about that a little bit more. And I think in the moment I was thinking probably that like I was just gonna rely on other people to do it, and I was tired, but not like prohibitively so, I guess. You know, I do feel like I could have done something. So coming into this last straightaway here for the second to last lap, I kind of jump onto some wheels and get ready for the last lap, and I am already thinking that it's going to be kind of crazy, but I'm also thinking, like, you know, it's like strung out, so it should be fine. But you see here, I mean, I'm probably sitting maybe 12th wheel or so. There's a fair amount of people in front of me, so I really should have been up there, but it might have been a blessing in disguise because of what happens on the last lap. So up the finishing straight here, I jump onto Bill's wheel at some point. He's up here, was it 431? So I jump onto his wheel, and we sort of prepare to take the last lap. And people are excited, obviously, sort of like hooting and hollering and getting excited for this last lap. So the speed does pick up after this corner quite a bit. So you'll see the speed pick up down this straightaway. See a couple of people sort of struggling, and I think right there I realized, ooh, I don't want to get caught like behind anybody and get blocked in. So I do try to get around in order to get in slightly better positioning. But you'll see in just a second what happens. So we're going into corner number 2 here, and you will see the chaos, and sort of painful looking at it again. But let's slow it down and see kind of what happens. So we're coming into the corner, and you can see I'm doing okay, actually. I'm trying to stick on this wheel, and you can see right about here up the road, you see red jersey maybe just overcook it a little bit, lose a wheel. He ends up taking out the guy right behind him there in the black jersey. So he kind of goes up over his bars, which is a bit of a bummer, and then takes out pretty much everybody else in the top 10, 12. So right about here, I'm thinking maybe I can still stop, but I'm kind of already sliding because of the wet pavement, and I just get blocked in. The guy behind Bill ends up kicking out his back of his bike, and that ends up swinging around, slamming into my handlebars and my hand, and throwing me into the grass. It's probably a good thing because I do wind up just in the grass rather than hitting the curb. But yeah, that is our race pretty much done. I think there were a couple guys in the front that got through, so they end up obviously competing. There's like a 3-way sprint, I think, for the finish, and then the guys behind the big pack kind of just stroll around everybody and and finished by themselves for like top 10 spots. So I'm a little bit bummed because I didn't finish. Not that I crashed, but that I didn't get to actually finish because I think, I think it would have been exciting. I think I would have been top 10 probably for sure. So I was excited about that, but it's good because, no super serious injuries. My friend Bill actually probably took the worst of it. He kind of ended up smashing into the curb and kind of separating his shoulder a little bit. His wheel, like I said, sort of smashed into my hand, and I ended up hitting my finger pretty good. But overall, I mean, it could have been a lot worse. The only damage to the bike was a broken rotor. I think it probably hit the curb. So that's an easy replacement. But anyway, so yeah, first race, and I guess I shouldn't be shocked that it ended that way, but just a bummer that it was like the last lap and I could have finished, and so a little bit bummed about that, but I'm really happy with the way that I actually rode. I'm happy with the fitness and everything. So yeah, excited to see what the next few races do. I have one coming up in a few weeks, so it will be it'd be exciting. So if you want to see that and any other like Zwift races or anything, feel free to subscribe here. And if you were in the crash or in the race, let me know how you made out in the comments, and I will see you next time. Thank you.